Welcome back to the program. So it looks like Klingon Musk is trying to start a third party. Now, he put some type of, I guess, poll together on X, and it had like, I don't know, close to, millions and millions of views and people commenting on it and everything else. But the majority of the people that were commenting on it, because he said it was a 2-to-1 that they wanted a third party, were all in other countries, okay? The people in America didn't vote for it. That's number one. But number two, he thinks he's going to do this and he thinks it's going to happen quickly. Well, I got news for you, Mr. Musk. It ain't going to happen, and it ain't going to happen soon. That's for damn sure. Starting a new party takes not months or weeks, years. Okay? Think about all the challenges that you would have to go through just to start the party. You're going to have Republicans and the RNC and all these conservative organizations filing lawsuits to stop you. You're going to find the same exact thing with the DNC and other left-leaning organizations that'll be filing lawsuits to stop you. So you're going to have both of the two-party duopoly coming against you and filing lawsuits to stop you. It's going to be tied up in the courts. You're going to have to go through all kinds of litigation just to even see if it's even possible to start the party. Meanwhile, let's not forget the elections and the FTC and all the different state legislatures that you have to convince, not to mention signature verifications that you would have to collect. So the reality is that when I was calling for a third party, it was because we had a stolen election in 2020. And if President Trump would have started a third party, then in those midterms and things like that, we would have been able to quell a lot of the damage that took place over the last 4 years. But now we're in the majority. And the last thing we ever want right now is a third party. Now, if you look at the way that he wants to do this, he wants to call it the America Party. Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, we're all Americans. You're not. You're from South America. But we're North Americans here, right? We're all from America. We would like to have freedom and liberty and prosperity. We don't want the spending that was put into the bill, but it is what it is, okay? It's the 80-20 rule. We got 80% of such great things in the bill that sadly the other 20% of no spending cuts and garbage and pork and everything else was included in it, okay? That's just the way Washington works, unfortunately. But to blow up the entire system, which, by the way, Elon Musk said that the Republican Party is the party of the future, right? He did say that on multiple occasions. Doesn't make any sense. So how hard is it to start a third party? Well, let's see. Starting a political party in the United States isn't an easy project. In fact, it's more like a long-haul campaign with trials and trials of legal hurdles to get through, tons and tons and tons of paperwork and grassroots organizing. The timeline can be dramatic depending on your goals and your resources and your strategies. Now, obviously, resources, he has unlimited resources. Although he said he was going to announce a party and he lost a multi-billion-dollar account because of it. So it could hurt him financially, and you know what he does when he hurts financially? He backs away. State level recognition. Each state has its own rules. Some require thousands upon thousands of signatures or a minimum number of registered members. For example, California demands either 0.33% of the entire registered voter base or approximately 1.1 million signature requirements. Ballot access. To get candidates on the ballot, parties then often need to meet vote thresholds in prior elections or gather enough signatures. This can take months or even years. Federal recognition. To be recognized nationally as a new party, parties must seek an advisory opinion board from the Federal Election Commission and comply with campaign finance laws. Local or state level parties could take 6 to 12 months with a completely focused effort. However, on a national scale, to create an America party on a national scale often takes several years, not months, years, especially if the aim is to compete at the federal level in our elections. So, Mr. Musk, you're not going to start a third party, okay? That's point blank. Once he figures out exactly what it entails, he's going to run the other direction, okay? So we're not going to have a third party. And even if we did, okay, the chances of him even getting it ready by 2026 are like 1 in 100 trillion, okay? That's the odds, all right? Now, could he get it done in time for 2028? It's a possibility, possibly, if he put all of his money, all of his resources, fought all these lawsuits, worked the grassroots, which he doesn't have any connections with, by the way, okay? And so there's going to get so much resistance from people that want to see the benefits of the one big beautiful bill and all the wonderful things that are in the bill to make this country better and more wealthier. So just because Poo-Poo Boy here didn't get his electric vehicle mandates and subsidies, he's crying like a little bitch. Well, that's what he is. That's exactly what he is. So deranged Elon is not going to get his third party. Next, this is so sad. First and foremost, my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Texas that is dealing with these horrific, historic, almost biblical types of floods. From what I'm hearing, the death toll is as close to 102, confirmed at 82, but there are so many people missing that they're thinking that it's already over 100 people. And it's really just terribly, terribly sad. There's still a bunch of these young kids missing from this Camp Mystic. Kerrville, Texas is just a disaster. President Trump obviously issued a disaster efforts, and then Abbott and DHS. And so they're working on doing the best they can to try to find as many people and rescue as many people as possible. But all I can just say is my thoughts and prayers go out to these folks. This is a horrific, once in 100-something year type of flood. And it's just terrible. And again, like I said, they're still finding bodies. They're still finding missing people. Some of them dead. Some of them are alive. Thankfully, some alive. And from what I'm hearing is this death toll in the next few days could possibly go and clear 100 because of how many people are still missing. And not just children and not just young adults, senior citizens, people that lived alone, people that were supposedly, in hospitals and things like that, they're missing. So it's just, it's a disaster all around. And so my thoughts and prayers go out to the folks. I hope that, everybody can get their lives back together. It's a pretty terrible thing. Let's talk about this. So Jeffrey Epstein, right? So now they're saying that he didn't kill himself. We know he killed himself, okay? It's clear. The hyoid bone was broken. Dr. Michael Baden, one of the greatest forensic medical examiners in history, said that clearly this was indeed a homicide, not a suicide. His own brother said that he didn't kill himself, wasn't suicidal. There's endless information pertaining to him being killed rather than committing suicide. So the FBI and Cash and Bongino and the rest of them, perhaps maybe they're being set up, maybe they're being threatened with their lives, I don't know. But remember that this was indeed Attorney General Pam Bondi a couple of months back on a show, and here's what she said about the now non-existent client list. Oh, no, it doesn't exist at all. No, that's right. That's why back in 2018, 2019, I did videos and I went through the client list. Okay, you all remember it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop it into the comment section again. So in case anybody wants to see it, they can see for themselves. But I remember going through the little black book that I got access to way back when. Now, is that the same exact client list? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe there could be additional names and things like that. There was a lot of, retracted names even in the time when I was going through the names when I did that special. But this was Pam Bondi a while back, and here is what she had to say when asked about the, quote, non-existent client list.
I saw your appearance at CPAC with Ben and with Ted Cruz, and one of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Oh, wait a minute. They're now reporting that there is no list and that this was indeed a suicide. But yet, months ago, you went on Fox News like you always do, and you actually said, it's sitting on my desk. Did you not just say it's sitting on my desk? Let's roll back the tape, shall we?
Clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
So let's see. The report now from the Department of Justice and the FBI is that there's no Epstein client list. It doesn't exist. And Epstein committed suicide. And they say, case closed. That's it. Don't ask anymore. No more inquiries. We don't want to tell you anything else. Yet she's on TV just a couple of months ago.
They may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right.
It's sitting on my desk right now. Gee, well, let's see. You had the client list sitting on your desk right now a few months ago, but now all of a sudden it doesn't exist. Somebody's full of shit, and I think I know who it is. It's the Department of Justice, it's the FBI, and it's the cover-up of the Epstein list. But let me let you in on a little secret. Do you know why the list is not coming out? I'll tell you the reason. Now, I can't verify this, and I'll be honest and tell you up front that I can't. But if you use addition by subtraction and you start to figure out why it hasn't been released, well, you really can only come to one logical conclusion. That the people on the list are current members of Congress. And yes, from both parties. That's why you're not getting your list, America, because I'm telling you right now, there are sitting members of Congress on the Epstein list. And quite frankly, I'll take it even further. It is possible that even people that work in Trump's administration could be on that list. Why do I say that? Because we're talking about the D.C. cesspool of Washington. And nobody can stay clean in the sewer pit of D.C. That's why. So, you're not getting your list because there's current members of Congress from both parties on that list. Mark my words. Okay? That's why you're not getting your list. Next story. Okay, so look, this Mamdani psychopath, he needs to be deported, defeated, or just gone, okay? He needs to go away. This guy cannot win in New York under any circumstances. And right now, Representative Andy Ogles has urged the Attorney General Pam Bondi to revoke the citizenship of Mamdani, calling him, quote, Little Muhammad, and deport him back to Uganda over ties to terrorist sympathizers. And you know what? when it comes to denaturalization, there are multiple factors that would coincide with why somebody who was a naturalized citizen in 2018 could then be denaturalized and deported. And I'm telling you right now, the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice is working right now as we speak, not just on Mamdani, but they're working on many other people that are here, potentially somewhat legally through naturalization, but now are being looked upon and investigated to be denaturalized and deported. And number one on that list should be Zohan the moron Mamdani, okay? That's who should be number one on the list. Now, politically speaking, is it dangerous? Hell yeah, it is. If you deport this guy in the middle of the night, you're going to need 10,000 ICE agents in New York City, in Los Angeles, in Portland, in Seattle, in Chicago, all over the place. You're going to need hundreds, thousands of ICE agents and National Guard members, because the minute they find out that he's been sent back to Uganda, all hell is going to break loose in all of our big blue liberal S-hole cities. Okay? But you know what? It'd be better to deport his ass for being a terrorist sympathizer, right? Hamas globalized the Intifada. He's obviously an anti-Semite. He wants to murder and kill Jews. Let's call it what it is. That's what an Intifada is. The fact that he's even still running for the mayorship in New York should be illegal and unconstitutional right then and there. We should already have deported him. So I'm saying on my show right now, forget about allowing him to run in the general election. Deport his ass now. He has broken the law based on the fact that he sympathizes with terrorist organizations. Hamas is a terrorist organization. We know that. Hezbollah, terrorist organization. We know that. So if he's sympathizing with these groups, whether he has an affiliation or not, doesn't matter. He is sympathizing with these groups. Denaturalization laws literally say, are you a part of, affiliated with, or have sympathy for any types of terrorist organizations? That answer to that question for him is a resounding yes. So I think Andy Ogles, Congressman Ogles, is absolutely correct. I hope the Department of Justice does this and deports him. Will it hurt, his standing, not with Republicans, but maybe with independents and things like that, and could affect us a little bit? A little bit. But believe me, it's a long time until the 2026 midterms. A long time, okay? And so I say get rid of him now, because if you don't and you allow him to win that mayorship, that's going to be the first Muslim mayor of a major city. And the next thing you know, you're going to have little Mamdanis popping up in Portland, popping up in Seattle, popping up in Los Angeles, popping up in Chicago. And the next thing you know, God forbid, the United States is going to start to look like London. And I, for one, will do everything in my powers to make sure the United States is never, ever like the UK. And it starts with deporting him and getting him out of the race so that he can't even be elected. That's what needs to happen, and it needs to happen quickly. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.